This week, Governor Manchin held a coal summit at Stonewall Jackson Resort in Lewis County. Political leaders and coal industry officials discussed how to make coal viable in a world concerned about climate change and our dependence on oil.
I think each one of us and everyone represented understands that foreign oil and the quest that this nation has and the thirst that it has for it has not boded well for this nation. And we think that we can solve that by working realistically within the resources that we have and developing our resources and truly and being responsible to the environment also.
Representatives of several energy-producing states attended the event, including the governors of Montana, Wyoming, and Kentucky Governor-elect Steve Beshear.
I'm firmly convinced that when we produce energy, we affect our environment. I don't think there's any question about that. I think the scientific evidence is there. And instead of denying it or refusing to consider it, we need to accept that challenge and do something about it.
The Manchin administration is developing an energy plan. The governor's goal is to make West Virginia energy independent by the year 2030. To do that, he wants to build 5 coal liquefaction plants. The governor's plan has received a lot of praise from the coal industry and criticism from environmentalists who believe he's relying too much on coal. Joining us now are 2 people who represent these views. They are Roger Lilly, the marketing manager for Walker Machinery, a company that serves the coal industry. You've probably seen his work in pro-coal marketing. He coined the phrase, "Coal keeps the lights on." And Allan Tweddle is a Charleston businessman and environmentalist who serves on the governor's Public Energy Authority. He's also received training in Al Gore's Climate Change Project. Gentlemen, welcome. Glad you're here. First, let me ask you, Mr. Lilly, both of you were at the Energy Summit this week. So, did you leave the day feeling encouraged or discouraged about the future of energy in West Virginia? Mr. Lilly, you first.
I left feeling very encouraged. I thought the governor and the other governors and the representatives from the energy-producing states were right on target. Mm-hmm. They get it. I'm somewhat concerned about the federal government because an energy policy without coal is really no energy policy at all. And I think they understand that coal is not the problem. Coal is the solution to the problem, and it's the bridge to the future.
Mm-hmm. What did you feel coming out of this summit?
Well, I felt the summit was very well put together. I've got to give credit to the governor and to Jeff Herhold for a very, very impressive conference. The subject that was discussed was the future of coal in a carbon-constrained world, and there was a good discussion. There was a lot of realistic presentations about the technical, economic, and environmental concerns that people have, mm-hmm. and what the possible solutions are and what the challenges are, and it is very challenging.
What about coal to liquid? You have some doubts about this, don't you?
Well, the coals to liquid history around the world is not very pretty. The technology was originally developed by the Germans and used in Germany only because they couldn't get oil. It was then used in South Africa, again, only because apartheid cut them off from oil. So its reasons for being used in the past have been nothing to do with market demand other than these countries were totally isolated. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of concern that coals to liquid is going to add to the greenhouse gas inventory in the process of production, and that the fuels, to date, the fuels themselves contribute more to greenhouse gases than petroleum-based fuels.
Mr. Lilly, you do see that coal is under attack. How do you defend it?
Well, like I tell you, coal is the solution to the problem. There's no question that we have an energy crisis of all proportions, that we need all forms of energy. We need to develop renewables, we need nuclear, we need all the fossil fuels and coal. Mm-hmm. Coal has brought us through 2 world wars, through the Korean conflict, through the Vietnam conflict. Mm-hmm. It has made us the greatest economic force with the greatest national security of any nation in the history of civilization.
Well, Mr. Tweddle, you would agree with that. Coal has done all that he has said it has done.
It has contributed, yes. It's not the only form of energy, though, but it has contributed. And it's a major contributor because it is priced so that it is less expensive. I'm not sure that the price, though, reflects the total true costs. Mm-hmm. And those are some of the reasons, these so-called attacks. I wish the industry wouldn't say they're being attacked. They're being evaluated. The province of Ontario did an incredible, thorough 2.5, 3-year analysis of coal in Ontario because they have a lot of coal-fired power plants. Well, the province of Ontario not only owns those coal-fired power plants and generates all the power, there is no independent corporation generating power, they also own the health care. So when they looked at the cost that they assigned and attributed to the pollution from coal-fired power plants to their health care costs, they concluded that renewable energy is less expensive. So the province of Ontario is shutting down all their coal plants.
So the industry is not being attacked, you're being reevaluated. Are you worried about the coal industry's future in West Virginia?
I'm not worried at all about coal. I am somewhat worried about the coal's industry, the coal's future in West Virginia. As Central Appalachian coal is, while we have the highest quality, hottest burning coal, we have problems. We have geological problems. We have regulation. There's lots of different issues. It's the toughest coal to get out. Mm-hmm. But coal, with 52% of the electricity produced by coal, cannot be ignored. And we need clean, carbon-neutral coal. We need to use the technology that we have available to manage this problem and these issues. And we can do it. And we're on the verge of breakthroughs in carbon sequestration, and we're a much cleaner and greener energy source than we've ever been before. And that's just the challenge, and we can do that. And as I can tell you, it will be the solution to climate change.
Mr. Lilly, does your industry even acknowledge that coal contributes to global warming?
Absolutely.
Really?
I think so. I certainly do. But, there's a lot of panic and hysteria about climate change. And I think we have to settle down, take a deep breath, and start working through this problem.
So, Mr. Tweddle, the coal industry is worried about its future in West Virginia. How do you think about that?
Well, I can understand their concerns because it's going to come down to economics.
It always does.
Yeah, it really is. If we can achieve totally carbon neutral coal use, and we can slow, stop, and reverse the CO2 emissions. If we can do all of that with coal and remain competitive with the alternative energies, then coal will survive and will prosper and grow. I'm looking not at anything but the economics of what's going on. While things like carbon sequestration, which is a technology everybody's working hard on, and we saw some tremendous presentations on carbon sequestration, what its potential is, and so on. But we also saw the cost numbers. And they were going to add, some of them were 36% more, some of them were 50% more, some of them were even more. The Australians have said it's going to double the price of coal-fired power.
Okay, but what about the American coal industry? Is it moving fast enough?
Well, you can't push the river. I mean, this technology, the president of Arch Coal recently said that coal sequestration on a commercial scale for power plants is 15 years away.